Will Bengals safety Jessie Bates show up for training camp if he doesn't get a long-term extension by July 15th? Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Thank you so much for subscribing, following, and well, buckle up because training camp just a couple of weeks away. We're going to hit the ground running here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So if you're looking for Cincinnati Bengals coverage, you've come to the right place. We're going to have highlights from camp, exclusive interviews, conversations, news conferences, and anything else, honestly, that you could imagine from training camp. We're going to have it. We also got some good interviews coming your way. But that being said, Jessie Bates has been this little drama hanging over the team, and really not hanging over the team, but certainly something that we've talked a lot about here on this channel, and I've talked about on Locked On Bengals, and I've talked about on allbengals.com, and other media certainly talked about it. Why? Well, because it's a big question mark, and one of the only huge question marks surrounding this AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals team going into the 2022 season. Now, we do have an update. As of, I believe it was Friday night, Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, saying that, well, it's unlikely that Bates and the Bengals come to a long-term agreement by July 15th. They franchise tagged him in March, and he's set to make $12.91 million. And Garafolo hinted at how, well, yeah, Bates wants more in that $18 million a year range that Minkah Fitzpatrick got, and that's not going to happen. So we'll probably have some kind of reaction to this. And we will have reaction to this when it happens later this week. But I don't think that the Bengals and Bates are going to reach a long-term deal on July 15th. All right, so now we got that out of the way. So should they extend him or should they not? We could debate that all day long. But if it's not happening, it's not happening. And it doesn't feel like it's going to happen. So with that said, training camp going to be less than 2 weeks away by the time the 15th rolls around. Will he report for camp on time July 26th, which is when the veterans are set to report? I think guys like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will report early. Rookies set to report on July 23rd. And that's the big question. And Mike Garafolo is saying that he doesn't see Bates being in attendance for the start of training camp. And I think this would be a mistake. I do. And I had a long rant on Monday's edition of Locked On Bengals about this. And I'm going to do something similar here for our Cincinnati Bengals Talk viewers. But let's just say it out loud, right? If the Bengals don't pay Bates what he thinks he's valued at, what does that mean? Well, it means that one of 32 teams don't think you're worth what you think you're worth. Maybe someone out there does, but at least the team that you're on, that knows you best, that knows your injury history, that knows the medicals, that knows you and sees you day in, day out, and has seen you grow and has developed you, doesn't think so. Is it the end of the world? No, not by any stretch. But that's one of 32. Okay. Then Jeremy Fowler's rankings came out. And they're not Jeremy Fowler's rankings. He's the one who published them for ESPN.com. But he's doing these positional rankings, top 10 players at each position. And Jessie Bates clearly wants to be the first, second, maybe he'd settle for the third highest paid safety in the NFL. He was ranked 6th in these rankings. And who votes in them? Coaches, executives, players. He was ranked as high as 2, okay? And he was ranked as low as not in the top 10. Didn't even make the cut. What does that mean? That means that the NFL pretty split on where they are on a guy like Jessie Bates. So if you know, and he'll know at the end of this week, July 15th, if a deal is going to get done or not, a long-term deal. If you know that you're not getting a long-term deal, and you know you're going to make $12.91 million, assuming you sign the franchise tender and don't miss a game, ask yourself, what's the best way to put yourself in position to make that money? What's the best way to put yourself in position to be an all-pro for the first time? What's the best way to put yourself in a position to not only be a first-time Pro Bowler, a first-team All-Pro, I'll clarify, first-team All-Pro for the first time, but also lead the Bengals and help the Bengals get over the hump and win the Super Bowl? To me, it's showing up to camp on time. It's gelling with your teammates who you haven't seen, most of which, certainly on a football field, as far as we know, since February. And it's doing all of those things, just going all in on this season. This is the most important season professionally, most important year professionally of Jessie Bates' life. It is. It point blank it is. And last year he admitted that it got to him and all of those things. All right, well now you know what it's like. Go out there and ball. Go out there and show all 32 teams, the Bengals and the rest of the league, that you are an elite safety. Not a very good safety, an elite safety. Because he played like it in the playoffs, didn't he? And he played like it in 2020. Okay, so that's 4 games in 2021 and a 2020 team that, let's be honest, stunk on defense. Show it now. And if you show it now, you're going to get paid. And not 15, not 18, whatever you want. You might make 20 million. You could reset the safety market, Jessie Bates, if you go out there and you have the best season of your life. And you're maybe first in Jeremy Fowler's rankings that he publishes next year, or second. But if you're telling me that you're going to skip 2 weeks of camp or skip the preseason and show up at September 5th, to not camp, but show up to Bengals facilities, let's say September 3rd, okay? And just so you can be on the field week 1. Just say that out loud. Does it sound like that is a recipe for success? Does it sound like that? And you can train on your own all you want. You could be jacked. You could do all of those things. But then you got to get out on the football field with 10 other guys and stop 11 on the other side that want to crush you and everyone around you. Football is violent, man. And to me, and he knows this, but to me, once there's nothing that can be gained, because I'm not counting his pockets and I get wanting to get paid and I get all of those things. I'm not going to argue it one bit. But once there's nothing to be gained from missing, you're just losing. You might not be losing money, but you're losing ground. You're losing the chance to go out there, at least to a degree. You're losing percentage points. It just goes, how likely, unlikely. The percentage of and the likelihood of him going out there and having the best season of his life goes down a little bit every time he misses a training camp practice. Every time he's not with his teammates. And it might even not even be a full percent every day. I'm not saying that, but it goes down. Do you want to maximize your value next offseason? Then show up to camp. Nothing else can be gained. The deadline would be well past. So to me, if Jessie Bates is smart, he would show up to camp. It's going to be quite interesting. Mike Garafolo saying that it's probably not likely. We'll see if it is. To me, if I'm Bates' agent, go out there and ball out. That's it. That's it. That's what this is. And I think that's what he should do. We'll see if that's what he does. We'll have you covered here wire to wire on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. We got a couple things in the works too. So buckle up. Get ready and understand that CBT is going to go to a whole nother level. Big levels like Tyler Boyd. For Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.